What's good, everybody? Welcome to TNBS Presents Game of Thrones Chillin' Blaze podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Targaryen. Today we got Nick Bolton, Kim, aka Khaleesi, and Casey Stark. How's everybody doing today?
Good, good. How are you, Tommy?
I'm doing all right. Getting ready. I'm excited. Getting ready for Game of Thrones. How you doing, Casey?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. What about you, Kim? How you doing?
Real good. Real good.
Let's get it. This ain't medieval times. We make sure everybody's good before we jump into things, all right?
Nice.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about the new season coming up, Game of Thrones, Season 8, the final season, tier. What we're going to do is run through what do we think is going to happen to each character. And when we get to the end, we'll throw out a theory or two. And we'll throw out who we think is going to sit on the Iron Throne to end it. So, without further ado, let's head to Winterfell. And Nick, what do you think is going to happen to Sansa?
I'm Sansa Stark of Winterfell. This is my home.
I think Sansa's gonna die.
I don't.
I think Sansa's gonna die in the first episode, but I saw it online that she's gonna die in the first episode.
I think fake news, and she's not important enough to die, so she's gonna be a Stark that makes it to the end.
You think so?
Yeah.
I tend to agree with Kim here. I don't think they would kill her off in the first episode.
I also think that you're the only one who read that article, and
And you read that shit in the UK's version of the National Enquirer, so.
you're the only one I've heard this from. So I guess you know something we don't.
Yeah,
You talk to Sophie Turner.
no, but
You wish.
What about you, Casey? What do you think is going to happen to Sansa?
I think she's a survivor, so I think she's going to be alive in the end. I'm not sure what position she's going to be. Probably like Warden of the North or something I think is going to happen. But I definitely think that she's going to be alive in the end.
I agree. I mean, I think we're three of us are on the same side of the fence here on Sansa. I think it's kind of obvious, although it could be some Game of Thrones shit that they pull to kill her off. But I don't think enough people would care, honestly.
I think they'll waste their time.
I just don't. I mean, when you talk to Game of Thrones fans, not many of them say their favorite character is Sansa. So like, I don't know, and I agree though. I think Wardeness of the North kind of fits her, you know, because she's doing a good job now. There's another character who is Warden of the North.
Arya. Why wouldn't Arya be a much better Warden of the North?
Arya's a faceless man.
Arya's on some other shit. Arya's just like, she's legit ready. She'll kill people too easy. Like, she can't be in charge of them. And she doesn't want that. She's even said she doesn't want to be a lady. That's not her.
It's no one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She did say that.
And she got that faceless man training.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well,
I got some notes here, just so you know.
Good.
I forgot.
You're gonna need them. Remember this. You're meeting with the Maesters now.
I know. I know. I can't pull out Sun articles with you guys.
No UK National Enquirer. But Sansa's whack as fuck. I'm sorry, but she's just whack. I'm moving on. You guys cool with moving on from her?
Yeah.
It's all the time she needs.
Yeah, not waste no more. All right, one of my personal favorite characters, Khaleesi. We're kicking this one to you. What do you think is going to happen with Tormund?
I want to make babies with her. Think of them. Great big monsters.
Does he make it?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he makes it too. Yeah.
Really?
I like Tormund. Yeah.
I do actually. He is definitely an underrated character, and I would be very upset if he doesn't make it. But yeah.
I agree on the underrated.
I think he will. Now, that's something I haven't thought about, and now I'm feeling sad thinking that.
Well, because we did get that glimpse of him potentially dying in Beyond the Wall when he was getting pulled into the water by the walkers until the Hound saved him. That glimpse, I feel like that could be setting us up for something with him. What do you think? What do you think about Tormund?
I sadly think he's going to die in the Battle of Winterfell. I really hope not, but I just think a lot of the warriors that are going to be on the front lines are going to have to die.
Unfortunately, I agree.
That's a valid opinion.
And I think the only thing working in his favor to go all the way is how many wildlings do we actually know in the show? You know, it was him in 1-1. 1-1 barely could speak English. He could say somebody's name and that was it. So like he wasn't much of a character with dialogue and whatnot. Whereas Tormund is, we've seen him develop relationships with Jon, Beric in the last episode. We've seen him try to develop a relationship with Brienne, the Hound. So I'm kind of torn on him personally. I could see it going either way, but I do tend to lean towards he's going to die. I don't think it's going to be in the first episode. I think it'll be like Casey said at the great battle. So unfortunately, I do think that Tormund is going to die. We'll get to see him a little bit. What about you, Nick?
No, I agree with you guys. Though. I think Tormund's gonna die. I thought he died on the wall when they got attacked. When they destroyed the wall, he was right there. Yo, he died. But hey, yo, you guys all saw what I saw, but I saw him in the preview of the next one. And I know he's alive, and that was exciting. I like him as a character too, though. So, but I do agree that they have to kill him off because he's like beloved. He's a cool character.
Exactly, like he's loved, but he's not quite that important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I bring it back to Sansa. If we go back for a second, I know we don't want to talk, but I don't think she's for the same reasons you guys think she'll stick around. Like Casey made a good point about her being a survivor. Right? That makes sense, but like her not being important or whatnot is the reason why I can see her dying early in the invasion. Because remember, the North that's like the first spot they're gonna hit. So somebody's gonna die during the first few episodes important from the North because they're gonna be up there.
I could see Brienne dying by saving Sansa.
Lady Sansa, I offer my services once again. I will shield your back and keep your counsel and give my life for yours if need be.
Oh.
She's supposed to be in charge of the Stark girls, so.
Are we going ahead?
Well, I like how you did that because you switched into Brienne seamlessly.
That's a segue. Nice.
Second of all, that's a great fucking point. That is a great point.
That's a great point. Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that, but it's so fitting for Brienne because she's sworn to protect them. How fitting would it be if her downfall, if her dying was to protect?
So that's why Sansa's gonna survive.
Yes.
She's got Brienne.
Fair point.
And she's another beloved character who
she has to die.
Brienne
has to die too. There's no way
she's a knight. That's like
she's gonna die from. Yeah, that's part of her code.
Is there any way that Brienne and Tormund ride off in the sunset together?
No. No.
No chance that they make
I
it?
don't think so at all.
All right. I'm in that boat. I'm the only one that thought about that. All right.
I wish it would happen, but I just don't think that we'll get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's wishful thinking.
We might get maybe they'll die in like the second or third episode, so we'll get like more of a development of their little like crush on each other, whatever the hell they have going on, but they're gonna die. They're not gonna. They have to. They have to. Game of Thrones style.
So you think Brienne's gonna die too?
Oh yeah, I think
she's gonna die saving Sansa. That's
a great point. As a knight, because she's a knight. Remember, her job is to pretty much die for her.
She promised Catelyn Stark.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: what about the fact that she's one of the only 7 or 8 people who have a Valyrian steel sword?
Someone else will pick it up when she drops it.
But the Valyrian steel, essentially, all it has to do is touch the whites and they're dead. And we know that she's big. She could take out 3 in one swing.
No, good point. Good point.
Maybe a White Walker doesn't kill her. Maybe somebody else does.
Ooh, now we're getting juicy. Who would kill her?
I don't know.
I don't know. I like that answer. So
Well, I mean, you're right with the Valyrian steel. Maybe the Mountain.
Ooh, and then that's when the Hound kills the Mountain. All right, so Casey, what do you think about Brienne? What do you think happens to her?
I think she's tough. I think honestly she's gonna make it to the end. I think she'll be one of the people that survive, especially because she has the Valyrian steel sword. Definitely gonna help out her cause.
I agree. I think she's gonna make it. I think she makes it to the end because you got to remember too that oath that she pledged was to protect the Stark children was Arya and Sansa. So
what's her dude's name? That she's been training to be a knight all this time.
Oh,
he's gonna get the Valyrian. He's gonna get her sword.
What the hell's his name?
Podrick.
Podrick. He's gonna get her.
Pod can't
Pod.
fight though. Pod's
That's been training this whole time for a reason. She's been training.
I think Podrick makes it too, but I don't know. He's when Pod left King's Landing, I didn't care about him as much. As weird as that is, like him and Tyrion were perfect complements to each other because he was such a good boy and Tyrion was such a a bad boy, so to speak, that they complemented each other perfectly. You had Tyrion and you had Pod together. I like the three of them. Once Pod left and went with Brienne, I didn't really care for him as much.
It's like a lighting a little bit, trying to change the mood in this.
Nah, yeah, but that you just made it depressing. As soon as that happened, that to me thinks Pod's dead now. You shut the lights out on Pod. We'll move on. Nick, what do you think's gonna happen to my boy Davos?
I'll be staying behind. I'm a liability out there, as you well know. You are.
Davos.
He's interesting because I can't really get a good feel for what's gonna happen.
That's some real shit. When it hits the fan, everybody is in it for themselves at this point. So Davos, I don't know, man. I like him a lot too, though.
All right, Casey, what do you think's gonna happen to Davos?
Davos is a real interesting character, honestly, because I don't know if he's going to be doing a lot of fighting. He's not the best fighter. So he might survive the first battle, but then maybe something happens to him when Cersei shows up. Well, that's what I think is going to happen.
We're gonna kick it to Khaleesi first. Khaleesi, what do you think happens to Davos? I feel so weird calling another human being Khaleesi.
Listen, I'm sorry, I'm going to do that.
I agree with Nick.
I think Davos, I could see him going out because we know he's not a fighter. When he gets back with Jon, we know that he has a bond with Gendry. I think he could die protecting Gendry. Just because, remember, he watched his son die in front of him back in the Battle of Blackwater. He watched his son get blown the fuck up by wildfire. That's got to be some traumatizing shit.
Yes.
Then he saved Gendry, let Gendry row off, and then goes back, as we saw, to get Gendry and brings Gendry back to Jon. So I think he has that bond with Gendry and looks at Gendry as a second son.
Okay.
I could see Davos going out protecting Gendry. I knew you didn't know who Davos was. I know you guys didn't know who I was talking about.
He's not gonna make it.
He's not gonna make it. That guy ain't fucking making it.
Why? He's been a survivor, though.
That guy ain't making it.
No, he's the onion.
That guy ain't making it.
Think about it. He's been.
Yeah, he's good. I think he's gonna make it because he's a survivor.
And he survived Melisandre. He survived.
Yeah, he's been through some shit.
He's the one that's left of them.
Everybody's a survivor until they die. It's a fuck. This is Game of Thrones, man. Come on.
So speaking, Davos and the Gendry connection. We'll go next. We'll go to Gendry.
Yes, thank you. I know that.
Could have been worse.
She wanted to kill me. But they would have killed me if it wasn't for Davos.
They didn't, did they? So what you whinging about?
I'm not whinging.
Casey, what do you think's gonna happen with Gendry?
I think Gendry was going to survive, and I think he might end up with Arya in the end, actually.
Ooh, juicy.
Yeah.
Elaborate, please.
Well, I just think
As we know, they had the little friendship relationship, and where he actually hit on her at one point. And when they were getting taken to the wall, back, I think it was in season 2. So we know that there's a little bit of history there. Nick.
Yeah.
Give me your Gendry take.
Gendry, first of all, I don't like Gendry. I think he's gonna be I don't like him, but I think he's gonna sit on the Iron Throne.
You don't like Gendry because Kim likes Gendry.
No.
Yes.
Well, no, I don't like him.
B, he had no idea about the Iron Throne thing. I keep saying there's no way that there's not significance that he's the only one of Robert Baratheon's children left. He's King Robert's only real kid.
And he's the heir to isn't he the rightful
Heir to the throne?
Who's the rightful heir?
I know.
Casey, who's the rightful heir? Because TJ's shaking his head.
Gendry,
Yeah.
He said Gendry.
he's
Yeah,
Gendry, yeah,
it is.
it is. That's who we were saying. Yeah, Tommy's trying to say Aegon.
There's no reason that they would slaughter every single one of his children except for one, and then just let it go for Game of Thrones.
There is an interesting point of at one point Stannis says, "What's the life of one bastard boy against the kingdom?" and Davos says everything. So that does back up what you're saying, where this bastard boy is the actual should actually be sitting in the Iron Throne. So what's his life against the kingdom is everything because he should be ruling the kingdom.
He's a blacksmith, ain't he? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be big, and he's gonna be making dragon. Don't they have the dragon glass from
Yeah,
the?
they have
Didn't
the
they
dragon
make?
glass.
So he's gonna be big. He's gonna be making the weapons from his shit, the dragon glass and all that shit.
Gendry, I can't see a path to Gendry dying. It doesn't make sense for him to die because we know he's going to be fighting. But actually, he doesn't have it. There's no Valyrian steel for him. His hammer wasn't made, or his war hammer, whatever it was, wasn't made out of dragon glass. So I'll be curious to see if he's on the front lines fighting or if he's kind of sits back a little bit. But I don't know. I like Gendry, but he's a little boring. I do think he makes it to the end, though.
I agree too. If the question is of all these characters, too, who's making it to the end, then I'll say Gendry is one. But unfortunately, he's gonna make it to the end.
Well, I think we're gonna see a lot of these. Oh,
Necessary heat for him. So
well, he's a little boring.
He's just a fat character. He's boring as hell.
there's nothing wrong with him.
Jon Snow. I don't care if you like Jon Snow. He's a Jew, but Gendry is boring as shit.
Gendry is also not.
That's why they sent his ass away on the boat. Remember when Davos sent him away on the boat? Because he's boring. Show picked up when he left.
But I could see him making it till the end, just because I don't think most of our main characters are gonna make it. But all right, let's start getting into some of the good characters.
Let's do it! Get on the throne! Yeah!
All right, Nick's hype. So I'm gonna go right to you. What's happening to Jaime, my man?
Oh man,
I love Jaime.
My man, he's had a hell of a story arc. I liked his story, going from the guy that you hated. He was the most vile guy in the show, pushing the kid off of the top of the tower, paralyzing him while fucking his sister.
And then he fucks his sister on his dead sons, on their dead sons.
Quite the way to be introduced to the show.
And then talking shit, and then finally someone put him in his place and cut his hands off, and it was the change of his whole story arc. And then he started becoming better because he lost his what made him great, which was his skills as a swordsman, as a knight. Lost that, and he had to learn how to be a better man. His relationship with Brienne, that
changed him a lot too.
Yeah, watching
their friendship.
Thing.
I love their friendship.
And he potentially could be the hero of the whole show.
Jaime's gonna kill Cersei.
Let's not jump ahead, but he's potentially a hero for the show, and everybody's kind of rooting for him. But is he an anti-hero though? Is he an anti-hero? Sort of, right? He's kind of the bad guy that you're rooting for to win, but. I mean, he's still a Lannister.
I don't think he's a bad guy anymore, though.
I
think he's a good guy.
Has he atoned for his sins? That's how you.
He was ever a bad guy.
But how you? But the way you determine if a bad guy becomes you don't think he was ever a bad guy.
No, remember he saved 500,000 people by killing the Mad King.
That's true.
And then took heat for it, and everybody talked shit about him, called him Kingslayer, Oathbreaker, all this shit. You know, that's gonna wear on you. Eventually, you're gonna play the role of villain. Now, is he perfect? Is he a great person? No, obviously, he's fucking his sister, pushing a kid out a window. You're not a great person if you do that. But at the same time, he's saved 500,000 people, took heat for it, and never really complained.
But he was also he's a knight though. He's also a guy that stands by his principles as a knight. You know what I mean? Like his loyalties.
Because he broke as a member of the Kingsguard.
By killing the king, by being the king. Oh yeah, you're right. That's the ultimate. You're right.
Kingsguards are sworn to protect the king at all costs, no matter what. They're sworn to the king.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Huh. Casey, what do you think about it?
Jamie's an interesting character. I think he's gonna do a lot of heroic stuff, honestly, and redeem himself for all the bad things that he's done over the season. But then I think he's gonna get betrayed by Cersei in the end. She's gonna have him killed, maybe, or something like that. I don't know, honestly.
He's a little tough to figure it out.
Well, I like that thing.
There's so many possibilities of what can happen to Jamie, honestly.
Well, like Casey said, the thing about he has to atone. He hasn't done anything. What has he done to atone for the bad things that he's done?
Yeah, but
so far,
Cersei had to atone for her sins, and she's still a bad person.
Yeah, but not Cersei. We're talking about Jamie right now.
Yeah,
Cersei. I mean,
you're talking about atonement.
I know. Yeah, I know. But Jamie. I mean, has he? Well, he did sacrifice himself for Brienne. He went back to get her.
Mm-hmm.
That was big.
He made sure that she was well equipped to protect the Stark children.
You're right. You're right. He went. He's going back now. It seems to fight
to help in Winterfell.
To help in Winterfell.
He left. He turned his back on Cersei.
Yeah, I hope Jamie survives, man. If he makes it to the end, that final question.
Probably die.
That final question. Does he make it to the end? I don't think so.
Me neither.
He might die. He might be one of those guys that dies in the first few episodes just to throw everybody off really good.
Well, I see. I could see him dying in the Battle of Winterfell.
I don't like that death for him. I think that would be too generic.
I don't either, but I could see it happening just because.
You gotta see Cersei
thing. I don't really see how, like, what's she gonna do? She can't just send an assassin north to go kill Jamie or to go try to kill them. Yes, she got the army from Essos, but as soon as that army goes north and they see a fucking million of fucking dead people coming, you think they're really gonna go to try to kill the living people? I don't see how. I don't want to. We'll get to Cersei, but I don't see how she comes out on top at all. But Jamie, I could see him dying in battle because it's fitting. Because, like you said, he's a knight of sorts. He was a Kingsguard, a swordsman. That's all he cared about growing up. His dad had to force him to study. I could see something like Jamie dying, Arya taking his face. You look like you got to say something, Kim.
I don't think so. I think that's part of because who gives Cersei that reading about how she's going to get killed by her little brother and her kids are going to die?
But I think that means
wait your turn. Wait your turn. Maggie the Frog.
Off all over me and talk all over me. Yeah, so I think Jamie's going to kill her. Also because he killed the king, the Mad King, so he wouldn't kill a bunch of people, and she blew up everybody in the, what's it called, the Sept?
Yep, the Sept.
She killed mad innocent people.
That's a great point. That is a great point. Because it's, and you know, the Mad King, Mad Queen, same kind of preference. You know, a lot of people are speculating that Cersei's not actually pregnant. She's just kind of losing it upstairs, which, you know, that could have been a ploy just to keep Jamie around. So that's a great point. So you think he's gonna live long enough and he's gonna be the one to kill Cersei?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Nick, before you so rudely interrupted Khaleesi? You know that's treason, right?
No, I forgot what I was gonna say. We can move on.
Hit the pen again. All right, Casey, you said you think Jamie's gonna. You could see him dying in the great battle.
So we can talk Cersei. That's a loaded one. That's a long one, but it might be here till tomorrow.
Casey, what do you think's going on with Cersei?
Enemies to the east. Enemies to the south, and Arya Sand and her brood of bitches. Enemies to the west. Olenna, the old cunt. Another traitor. Enemies to the north. Ned Stark's bastard has been named king in the north, and that murdering whore Sansa stands beside him. Enemies everywhere. We're surrounded by traitors.
Let Casey rock, man. Casey's been sitting there. I want to hear Casey. He's the one bringing up the most logical shit.
I've been bringing up good points.
I think that she's gonna possibly show up on Winterfell after the battle with her army and maybe try to fight them. I think she might have Jaime killed for betraying her at some point.
Nick, what do you think is going on with Cersei?
All right. All right. Cersei.
Get your notes.
Man, I was trying to not bring them out, but I got them here. Let me tell you something about Cersei.
Yeah.
Two things. One, she looked better with long hair.
Definitely look better with long hair. Definitely.
Yo,
She
what
didn't
the
cut
fuck?
her hair.
What the fuck
She
was
didn't
that?
do it willingly.
Cersei's had the wild story. They made her. Okay, I know we're not gonna. We're talking Cersei, so let's talk about that corny Sparrow, High Sparrow storyline. I didn't like it.
I hate her.
I didn't like it.
I didn't.
It was just like a thing
Like
to
a
put
cult
there,
and it
like
sucked.
to connect stories and shit. You know what I mean? Like, or to get rid of the Martells. I mean, not the Tyrells.
Yeah. It
You
felt
know?
it felt and it felt like it felt stupid because Cersei's very smart. You think she's gonna get outsmarted by a fucking High Sparrow?
What? Yeah.
Like they were all locked up in their own kingdom.
Her kids were gonna turn on her. He was this bum ass guy from the was gonna make the king turn on his mother. That story was retarded. And I was happy. That's why I was happy when she blew up the whole fucking downtown and that whole storyline. Because that's what they had to do, is just blow that storyline. Was so
Blow that
stupid.
shit up.
Yeah.
Shit up.
I was sad they gave Marjorie such a whack death. I was sad they killed her all because I loved her. But Cersei should have stuck with the long hair because that short hair shit is whack. And do I think she's going mad? Yeah. I think she's
let's
crazy.
clear one thing up. Cersei did not cut her own hair.
No, it was awful how her hair got cut.
Yeah, in fact, she was like bleeding out of her head when they cut her hair.
Scalped her.
You see my head right here? I got this for that.
She was looking like you, my dude.
Nah, because then you gotta find out where I got it from and shit. I got scars on my back of my neck right now. Looking like Cersei.
So you think she's gonna go mad?
Yeah. I think it's right. I think she's showing those she's showing the she's doing a lot of the same shit. Like blowing up using the
wildfire
to blow up the town and all that shit. You know, she killing her own people. Shit like that.
What if the White Walkers overtake Winterfell and they head south and they make it to King's Landing? Would wildfire kill White Walkers? Like the main whites? I don't mean like obviously it'll kill like the little soldiers, but the main White Walkers, because we saw them walk through fire in the episode in the episode where Hodor dies. I can't remember the door. We saw them walk right through the fire.
No, I don't think it would.
I don't think it would either because I feel like it would be something that would be known. Like they know what kills the White Walkers or whatever.
The only thing with wildfire though is wildfire is made with magic. So could that magic have something to do with it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they'd walk right through that shit.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No,
I don't know. But Cersei definitely is.
I don't think Cersei's pregnant.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think she's like actually pregnant.
Or they could. What if the writers are trying to do something different than the books, and they actually do make her pregnant, and she has a kid, and it's a boy, and that's what kills her? Because that fulfills that prophecy. If it's a boy, it would be the younger brother of Tommen and Joffrey and Marcella. So killed by a younger brother. They didn't specify it would be her younger brother. They just said, younger brother.
Yeah.
That's a good theory, actually.
What was that, Casey?
That's a good point.
So I think she dies a different way, but that's one of the possibilities.
Is it possible she makes it to the end?
I don't think so. How fucking fitting would that be, though, if this bitch makes it all the way through and she's the one sitting on the fucking Iron Throne at the end?
That's Game of Thrones shit. Like, she's badass as this. She was,
Yeah.
strong ass woman.
Yeah, but so is Daenerys.
But Daenerys is afraid. Remember, Daenerys won't go attack the Red Keep because she doesn't want to kill any innocent people. Cersei doesn't give a fuck about that. She'll kill anybody to make sure that she survives. You want to talk about a survivor? She's probably the ultimate survivor.
Yeah, she's the ultimate. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Our kids have been killed or are dead. Like her husband died.
Her husband died. Her father died.
She had to do that walk of atonement bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but she's the most badass because she gets them back in the way that you imagine. You know how people, you're always like, oh, I would do this to this person. She actually does it.
She actually does it.
Remember, remember she said to that, she said to the, I think it was the one that kept talking to her when she was locked up she was locked up in the dungeon by this High Sparrow, and that lady kept coming in and trying to get her to whatever the fuck she kept saying to her. And then when she locked her in there with the mountain.
Confess.
Yeah, she locked her in there with the mountain, and she was telling her, she was like, all I was doing was picturing what I was going to do to you or some shit the whole time.
Picturing hideous ways for you to die.
Oh my god, she's so badass. And then what she did with the Martell.
That was terrible.
Joel.
She really is on some G shit if you think about it.
I think that was one of the worst ways, like one of the worst deaths you send someone to.
Yeah.
Watch your daughter rot in front of you.
The worst part about that is she's going to have to watch her daughter die, not be able to do anything. And then Cersei said she's going to have to watch her daughter rot.
Yeah.
That's some next level psychological warfare.
Yeah, she told her shit to
make sure that the things stay lit, so she
stays fed lit,
and
so
she stays alive.
All right, so Cersei, I think, who thinks she's dying? Anybody? No. Oh, Casey does. Casey thinks she's dying. I think she's gonna die too. I kind of lean she's gonna die.
Well, yeah, I think that Jaime's gonna kill her.
I think she makes it. I'll say she makes it because I think that is something for me. I think she will make it to the end because so far there's nothing to say otherwise in the show.
Although I do like your theory of the childbirth of the son.
That's what kills her, and fulfills the younger brother part. But there's another Cersei theory I have, and that's Arya, and this is the one I think will happen. I think Arya's going to take either Jaime or Littlefinger's face, and she's going to go south.
Because Cersei's on her kill list.
Yep. If not Littlefinger, then I could see Arya taking Jaime's face and doing it that way, too.
Then that would be technical. Yeah, that's a good theory, actually.
So, sticking with Cersei, what do we think's going to happen to the Mountain? Khaleesi, you first.
Well, I think the Mountain is gonna fight the Hound, obviously, and I would like to say that the Hound prevails because he's definitely grown on me. But in Game of Thrones fashion, I feel as though the Mountain's gonna win.
It would be fitting for Game of Thrones. But we did see way back in season 1, we did see the Mountain and the Hound fight. After the Mountain lost a jousting match in Robert Baratheon's games, and he went after was that Loras Tyrell who beat him? I think it was.
Yeah.
So he went after he kills his horse. He takes the sword, chops the horse's neck, and then the Hound steps in. And the Hound fights him to a draw, and neither one really got the upper hand. So I think, everybody wants it. Everybody's talked about the Hound and the Mountain. So I don't think we're actually going to get the fight, though. I don't think we'll get the Hound versus the Mountain.
Interesting.
But I do think that the Mountain's going to die because I think Cersei's going to die. And remember, the Mountain is also on Arya's list.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Well, I think...
Oh, there it is. What's that?
Yeah, I think Arya is definitely going to get everyone on her list. So who else is still on her list besides Cersei and the Mountain?
That's it. She got Walder Frey.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I haven't heard that yet. of her taking Littlefinger's face and now playing the role of being Littlefinger and getting in there.
You're like 10 minutes behind.
It would be interesting. Casey, what do you think about the Mountain?
I think they just gonna have go down the Hound,
You think that the Mountain and the Hound are going to meet up?
I think they just building for it, so.
That's what worries me about it, though, because we've seen the Hound, the way Game of Thrones is, things we think are going to happen, and they never do happen. That's the only thing that worries me about the Hound and the Mountain meeting up and I feel like it might be too much fan service at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, I think so. Now that they following the book more because the books that are written, that they kind of like are changing their direction, and they're not like doing as crazy of shit like the Red Wedding and everything like that. So I think they're doing more like sports fans really want to see that. So I feel like they're gonna give the guys what they want.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a great point. Like it's not so much, it still kind of fits the storyline. Assume that our people win in the North, which I'm still not sure that's I think the God's Eye is going to have to play a factor in that. So
there's a chance they could kill every single person on the show, every main character. Like, who's to say that the Night King doesn't just win this whole shit?
Well, remember we saw one of Daenerys' visions when she walks into when she's at the Warlocks, the House of the Warlocks. The vision, remember, she walks through and she sees Khal Drogo holding her baby. He's like, "Well, stay," and she keeps walking, and then she gets to the throne room, where there's like an inch of snow, and there's snow everywhere, and it's cold.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Maybe the Night King does pull it off.
Everything. I think he will make it down to King's Landing, because I think he's gonna fuck Westeros up. I don't think it's just gonna. They're not gonna stop him at Winterfell. That would be really anticlimactic. They're way too strong.
Yeah.
I think they'll get to the path.
We saw one break through Winterfell and get in by himself. They have fucking, 6, 7 giants now? And a fucking dragon? Like, all that dragon has to do is fly over Winterfell and it's a wrap.
And they don't even have the wall anymore at this point.
Yeah, and they're past the wall now. It seems like a general consensus that the Mountain's gonna die at the hands of the Hound. Alright, I actually like this character quite a bit. He's pretty fucking funny to me. We're walking through King's Landing. Guy's walking through King's Landing getting cheered for, holding his niece on a leash. And that's Euron.
Listen, if you have any advice at all, I would love to hear it. When we have an hour or two to speak as brothers. Advice? Does she like it gentle or rough? A finger in the bum. Shh. Not now. We'll talk later.
But Euron. I fuck with Euron. I can't lie.
My man, Euron.
You know who Euron is, right? The Iron guy.
Oh yeah.
One who's marrying Cersei, or supposed to marry Cersei. He's going to get the Golden Company.
Now what's gonna happen with him? Because he's on can the White Walkers go across water? Go in water? No, right?
I honestly don't know, because we saw them.
Nobody. I mean, the only one that could at this point is the dragon. That shit can do anything, but. The other ones, remember, they couldn't get to Jon Snow and the guys, and they were in the middle of that island where the fuck they were, and they couldn't get there.
Yeah, but they also were able to get the chains around the dragon at the bottom of the lake. How were they able to get chains around the dragon unless there were people down there wrapping the fucking chains around the dragon? So I don't know if they can or can't.
Oh, you think they were just waiting there as like a strategy type thing?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the Night King wanted the dragon. He knew the dragon was coming. That was his only way to get. If he killed them first, I don't know if it would have went the same. Because if Dany got there and didn't see anybody, I think she would have just bounced. This way, she saw all our people huddled up and knew where to attack. And I think that's what the Night King was waiting for. So I don't know if they can actually go underwater or not. No one else has got a Euron opinion? All right, I'll go. Euron, to me, is a very interesting character because first of all, he's got to go get the Golden Company, then he's coming back. But then what's he going to do? Is he going to go sail south with the Golden Company to...
But there's a new character they're introducing, too. I saw on something on YouTube that they're introducing a new character from the Golden Company that
Probably the
is...
head of the Golden Company.
Yeah, the guy has to lead the Golden Company. He's going to have a part to do in this now, too. So, Euron is a character that got to develop. He's only been there for a little. We don't know. Who is he again? He's the uncle... Theon's uncle, right?
Theon's uncle. He traveled. He's regarded as the best captain on the 12 seas.
And
wait, did he?
He has their captain.
I was gonna say he
has
captured
Theon's,
the sister, right?
Yep.
And Theon's going after him. So I think their storyline. Theon's gonna probably interrupt that whole going to the Golden Company thing.
I hate Theon. I fucking hate that little bitch. And he better get. I hope Euron kills him. Because, first of all, if Theon comes back to kill Euron, that would be retarded. Like, that would be so stupid.
He deserves to redeem himself.
And he's not that good of a fighter. What is Theon shown?
He jumped off the boat rather than try to save his sister. He jumped into the water.
Exactly. And now if they make it so Theon kills Euron, I wouldn't like that. I would not like that at all.
I don't think they would. No. Yeah, I've been over him since he's been Reek. Or since he betrayed the Starks. I hate him.
Yeah,
he sucks.
He can go back to being Reek for all I care. I don't even care that he saved Sansa. I mean, like, fuck. Like, nobody liked her either.
Yeah.
Didn't make up for everything he did.
No, if you think about what he did, he killed Roderick. He took Winterfell. He was a big reason why Robb died because he was.
I was gonna say
he ran away when his sister. He ran away when Euron was taking his sister. Right when you thought that he was gonna be.
That's what I just said. He just jumped off the boat.
Casey, what do you think about Euron? I think that his revenge on Euron.
What was that?
I think Theon's gonna get his revenge on Euron.
Oh shit!
I think that's him and Jamie are the two guys with big redemption storylines. I think they're both the of Bruce season.
I mean, I could see. I hope they don't do it just because of Jamie's at least had that bravery and that courage. Exactly, it would be very, very generic for Theon. And with how great of a warrior Euron is he really going to lose? I mean, would it be realistic or fitting if he loses to Theon?
I don't think so, honestly, but you never know with Game of Thrones.
And I do think Euron is going to die, though. So I think I think the Ironborns are going to just get, the Greyjoys are going to get wiped out. Wait, and we'll jump into Jorah.
He gave it to you. I'm not his son.
I brought shame into my house. I broke my father's heart. I've forfeited the right to claim this soul.
Jorah, I think, is interesting. Let me give it to you straight. Let me tell you everything I know. Let me tell you everything I know about Jorah. I'm gonna tell you about it right now before you forget. He had grayscale, and that shit used to fuck me up looking at it because it gave me heebie-jeebies.
Okay, what the fuck?
2, it was disgusting the way Sam, who might be the greatest character in the show, we'll get to that in a little bit, right? But Sam took it off and he scraped it off his body. 3, I think that was a big thing for the show, to show that Jorah is really, really interesting character. I'm excited to see him going further.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't like him, but apparently, he just won't go away, though. The Daenerys has told him to leave 10 times, and he just keeps coming back, and you're supposed to die from grayscale, and he survived grayscale, and
yeah, he did.
He just won't leave. He won't go. He won't die. So I don't know.
He's like the Magic Johnson.
Keep it on theme,
Imagine God's in that grayscale that somehow survived it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so if you keep it on theme with, like, I wouldn't want him to make it to the end, and I don't think he deserves to make it to the end. He's definitely never gonna get Daenerys, so I don't think he'll ever be fulfilled, so maybe he'll wind up killing himself. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
But if he was going to kill himself, he would have when he had grayscale.
No, yeah, but yeah, so I think that, yeah, he just won't die, though, like,
So maybe he does. Maybe he makes it till the end, and he's just an assistant of Dany's, or an assistant of, or maybe he goes back to Bear Island with his niece, Lady Mormont. There,
oh, yeah, she's funny.
I think everybody likes her. Casey, what's your take on Jorah?
I think Jorah's going to survive. I think that actually Sam is going to give Jorah his Valyrian steel sword to use in the battle. And then Jorah's going to survive at the end. I'm like, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Honor his father somehow.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. But I like the idea of him surviving to get back, and he's the one who brings the Night's Watch back. But would they need a Night's Watch if the Night King's killed?
I don't know. They probably wouldn't, but that's just my theory,
I like that, though. No, I do like that. I just thought about that. If the Night King's dead, is there a need for the Night's Watch?
There probably is, but you never know. It could start up again. They could have thought he was dead last time too, and he came back. So they could still have one. But it all depends. I also think that the next one is script gets destroyed next season in like the first couple episodes. But I guess that's for theory.
I tend to agree with you on the Night's Watch, and I think most of the Night's Watch is going to be taken out. As far as Jorah, I'm torn on Jorah. I kind of think Jorah dies in the Great Battle. There's just no ending for Jorah that really makes a ton of sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He's had a very complete story arc. You know, he got kicked out of King's Land. I mean, he got kicked out of Westeros. He survived in Essos. He was part of a Dothraki horde. He saw Dany. He protected Dany. Yes, he also had her killed, but he didn't. He made sure it didn't happen. And then she found out. He lied. He left twice and then came back. I think it's just a complete story arc, and he's done. We talked about the.
Just like you. Don't point your fucking finger at me. Did you trip into the fire when you were a baby?
I didn't trip, I was pushed.
Ever since you've been mean.
Will you fuck off?
I don't think you're truly mean. You have sad eyes.
You want to suck my dick, is that it?
Said we think the Hound's going to fight the Mountains. We could skip him. Talked about Tormund. We're going to go to everybody's favorite. And since before the show, before we started recording, I asked Kim, a.k.a. Khaleesi, who her favorite character was. And she said Tyrion. So I'm going to kick it to her first on Tyrion. What happens to Tyrion?
Last time I was here, I killed my father with a crossbow.
Last time I was here, you killed my son with wildfire.
Tyrion is a Targaryen.
You think he's a Targaryen?
Yeah. We think that he's a Targaryen too, and he's gonna, yeah.
All right, now speaking on behalf of you, because you're saying we.
Can I say the theory on why I think he's a Targaryen?
Can you?
Fuck. There were a few times we saw in the show that Tyrion could have been a Targaryen. One of them was the thing with the dragons, where he goes and feeds his dragon, and they didn't do anything.
Well, there's one thing about the dragon part. Dragons won't attack if you bow to them. Remember, that was the big thing way back with the Starks, was bow to Aegon.
Yeah.
So, and he's the one who wrote Balerion. So I think that there's something to bowing to the dragons, and that's a respect thing for them. And if Tyrion has the torch, puts it down, and he bows, what do you think's going to happen with Tyrion? Mr. Stark?
I honestly think that Tyrion's going to betray Daenerys.
Yep. Explain. I love it.
There's like a little bit of time where that they don't show that they talk, and I think that something happened. They came to an agreement or something. That Tyrion's going to turn on Daenerys, and I think it just reinforces the fact when he sees Jon going to her.
Yeah, when we see them on the boat heading north, him giving that look to Jon going into Dany's room. I think there's a little more to that than just him, worrying about the political ramifications.
Exactly.
No, I like that, because that's actually what I thought Tyrion. Because remember, we've loved Tyrion from day one. From episode 1, Tyrion's getting a blowjob from in the brothel, and then gets 6 girls coming in, and then he's the only Lannister that's not psycho and mean, and like everybody's like Tyrion. It's very.
He's a midget.
And he's a midget, yes. Well, a little person, asshole, but.
Besides the point.
Yeah, I don't really know what that has to do with anything, but everybody has liked him from the beginning.
It's because of the incest from his real father, the Targaryen.
Well, the theory with him being a Targaryen is that his mother was raped by a Targaryen, and that he was the product of the rape.
Yes, that's why his father told him, "I'm not." He's told him a bunch of times, "I'm not your father."
Because of who Tyrion is, he's a Lannister. I mean, he's a Lannister / Targaryen.
Half Targaryen.
He's
yeah.
a half
what?
Targaryen.
But I think that's his dirty blood. I think that's what his dad thinks is his dirty blood. He kept telling him, he was like, "Yo, you're no son of mine."
Yeah, because he's a dwarf.
And when he was like
embarrassed of him.
Remember, he was like, "I brought you to the water. I was gonna throw your ass into the lake and then to the ocean
because you were my son."
Because you were my son. No, hell no. No, he said,
he does call him his son, but if you notice, he only calls him his son when he needs something from him, or when Tyrion was about to kill him. He's like, "You are my son," and that's when he said it to try to save himself. So maybe there is something to that, but I think when they killed off Viserion the dragon, I think that was it. That was it, because everybody had the theory, oh, Tyrion's a Targaryen and he can ride the dragon. I love Casey's theory, and I'm with him. I think Tyrion is gonna at least try to betray Dany, and get the gold when the Golden Company does come down. And how fitting would it be if Tyrion's the one who's now working with Cersei while Jaime's trying to get away from Cersei? There's just a lot to that, a plot twist, the entertainment value, the shock value. I think, and that's such a Game of Thrones move, because we've seen Jaime be evil, we've seen Jaime be great. We've seen Dany be evil, we've seen Dany be great. We've seen Jon be evil, we've seen Jon be great. Arya.
You can't use that, my lady. It's too small.
I won't cut you. Don't worry.
I'll try not to.
Casey, what do you think is going to happen with Arya?
But as I said before, I think that she'll survive. I think she'll potentially end up with Gendry somehow.
It's interesting. I don't know. I don't like that because it doesn't.
Arya, can we talk Arya for a second though?
We are talking Arya.
We got time. Listen, Arya. Is she Arya or is she from Bravos? The girl from Bravos. That's the question. Did she die when the candle was blown out? We never saw her die.
We saw her face on the wall with blood coming down. That was pretty blatant that she was dead.
We didn't see whose face it was.
We didn't see whose face it was.
Yes, we did. We saw it was the waif.
Was it the waif or was it the girl that the waif killed in the
waif going and try to kill? Why would she pretend to be Arya? So Nick, what do you think about Arya? I like, I think it's going to be one of two things. I like Casey's point of her and Gendry getting together, or like I said, I think she's going to kill Cersei with Jaime or Littlefinger's face, personally, and I think she's going to take the mountain out that way as well.
I like Arya a lot. I don't know what she does though. In the trailer, they show her running away from something. They were making a big deal of that.
So let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that. What do we think that is? What do we think she's running from?
I think she's running from I think the White Walkers are there. That's the map. They're the closest to the wall. They're gonna hit that place first. So I think that's her running from there. Like it's popping. That's it. It's time to go. Gotta go.
Think
Gotta
it's
go.
her running around Winterfell trying to get away from him.
Mm-hmm. Or somebody once said they estimated that they think it's her leading somebody somewhere because she did that last time in one of the episodes. She led
with the waif, yeah.
Waif, yeah. So she said maybe it's that. Who knows? All I know is she's about to get fucked up when the White Walkers come and she don't got any Valerian steel to rock with. There's only 8 Valerian
She has
steel.
Valerian steel.
Jon Snow.
Oh.
She's got the cat's paw dagger, and that's Valerian steel.
Oh, so she's good. What are we talking about?
One that Bran gave to her. Remember the dagger that Bran got from Littlefinger?
Yeah.
That's right.
And Bran gives the dagger to Arya. And the cat's paw dagger is Valerian steel.
The thing is, she has to, just based on the character, whatever, she has to use the face shit again.
Yep.
The question is who? Whose face she's gonna wear? We know she's gonna do it again. So who?
I like your theory of me.
What if?
Or I like that theory too, Jamie. Or
Jamie. What if her running around wasn't actually in Winterfell, but in King's Landing? Because we didn't see that it was definitely Winterfell. What if that's her in King's Landing and she got caught by the face thing? You know, like she had the face, and maybe she tried to kill Cersei and the Mountain noticed, and she got into a fight, because remember, she's got like a cut or something above her eye too. So does that necessarily have to be Winterfell where she's at, where she's running?
That could be anywhere.
Exactly. But you think Arya's going to make it till the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're saying yeah to too many characters. Like the thing is, like, not all the Starks are gonna make it. Like.
Well, there's only 2 left, 3 left. Bran, I forgot about Bran.
You know, and Bran, like, ugh, but then he's like the 3-Eyed Raven, so that's like his whole important. But.
Yes. What did he spill on himself?
Fucking sloppy.
You look like you just took a load on your chest, man.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like from here too.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like.
And he's eating it too. Oh my god.
This just turned into premium.
Pornhub premium.
Premium content.
Oh shit. What do we think about Bran?
All of that and make your way home again only to find such chaos in the world. I can only imagine.
Chaos is a ladder.
Alright, Casey, what do you think about Bran?
Oh, I'm geeking off this shit. Yo!
Apparently they got said that he wasn't. I mean, who knows if it's actually true or not, but I don't think they would just straight lie to us about it.
I never liked the Bran being the Night King theory, personally.
What the?
I never liked the Bran being the Night King theory. I mean, I understood it because he could go back in time and he could have threw himself in front of it, but I don't care for that. If that's what it was, I think that would be a little stupid, personally.
I definitely think he's going to have a big impact on Battle of Winterfell, because I think that the Night King's actually after him. After he touched them. Great.
I like that. I think that too. I think he's either after Bran or he's after Sam Gilly's child. I think they're after one of the two, but Bran makes more sense because Bran knows how to beat.
I think Bran controls time. Let's look back at the Hodor situation. I mean, Hodor. The relevance of showing him going back and saying, hold the door, that's what fucked him up as a kid, messed him up, is important. That's going to be important going forward. He's going to go back maybe to the time of the dragon glass was put into that guy to create the Night King. Who is that guy? We have to find out. We're going to learn about him this season.
Find out.
We got it. He can't just be like anybody character.
No, we do find out.
Yeah, we have to find out who he is. Or if we don't, he's just not that important of a character. But Casey, I think Nick had a question for you. Nick, you want to ask Casey?
Casey, do you think that do you remember what happened with Bran and Hodor? When Bran was looking back and he saw Hodor as a young kid, and we found out that he could talk. How important do you think that is going forward? That the fact that the present created, how it affected the past or whatever. How important do you think that is going forward?
I don't know what they're doing with that, but I definitely think that there's a reason behind it, and that it's going to come back.
Right? You would think they have to. Why would they show that? Hold the door. And I mean, that's so big. He was such a big character. And then to show that that's how it happened, like, he's bending time or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was interesting. I wonder if they go back. And also, I was wondering if you think they'll explore the Night King a little bit more. Like, the guy that they showed the flower girl sticking the dragon glass into his chest.
I really hope they go back and show some Night King origins and stuff. I don't know if they're going to, but I think they like to keep them really mysterious and stuff. And I bet there's a lot of stuff they have to pack into these episodes. So I think a lot of fans would really appreciate if there was a little background to the Night King more.
We're getting Night King origins in this. I think that's going to be in the spin-off, because one of the spin-offs they're doing is the Age of Heroes. I think that's when we're going to find out about the Night King and learn about him. I don't think we're going to learn about him. They have too much to put into these next 6 episodes. I'm sorry, but the Night King origin doesn't rank that high compared to the battle with the White Walkers, the battle with Cersei. Who's going to survive? What's going to happen to the 7 kingdoms as a whole? Is half of the world going to get destroyed by the Night King?
But you don't think it's important who the Night King is at all? He's just some guy that they took. He could be a peasant, a farmer. He's just some guy.
I think that's the point. Yeah, that it's not somebody important. That they took. I think it's to show the power of Dragonglass and power of the Children of the Forest, that they could take a random man and turn him into something this powerful. And I just think that's the point of it, is to they're going to kind of leave him generic for now, and then when they go back to do the spin-off, they're going to talk more about him.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's a good way to spin it.
But as far as Bran, he can't see the future. He can only see the past and the present. He can't go ahead in time and look ahead.
But the present...
Like, he can see everywhere through the weirwoods, as through the ravens.
But wasn't he able to affect the present?
Yeah,
affect the past by what was going on in the present?
He could affect he can affect the past and the present, I'm assuming. Because remember, when we see him go to the Tower of Joy with Ned, he yells out. We see Ned stop, turn, and look.
Yeah.
2 things that could either be he
heard
him,
right. Yes.
Or that could be that happened in the past regardless. So we don't know for sure, but Bran definitely can bend time a bit, or bend something to his advantage. Bran is way too mysterious for me now. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen with him. I honestly, I don't even have a take on Bran. I don't know. What do you think about Bran, Kim?
Ugh, I don't know what to think about him. I'm over him.
It's too, alright, fuck Bran. Alright, we're going to kick it to you on Dany. What happens to you in Game of Thrones?
You told me to do nothing before and I listened to you. I'm not doing nothing again.
She's dead. She dies.
Yeah. She doesn't make it. Because only her, or both her and Jon Snow can't make it. And I think Jon Snow's going to survive.
See, Casey, what happens with Dany?
I think that she's going to be killed by Cersei at some point.
Really? So you think Cersei's going to come down to Winterfell, right?
Yeah, I think she's going to march her army there or something. I don't know. There has to be. She's going to do something crazy like that.
So do you think Dany loses her dragons then?
Yeah, I think she loses her dragons. I think at the end all the dragons are going to be dead.
I agree.
They're just too overpowering, I think.
See, Danny's tough too because I could see her making it, but I could see her dying. I think she dies because she's pregnant. I think she gets pregnant. I think that one time with John was enough. But how she dies though, like yes, the John prophecy of being the prince that was promised makes sense. Where he has, he makes Lightbringer. He had to make when Lightbringer was originally made. It was by killing the guy's love. So I could see that happening, but I don't know why John would kill Danny. She's another tough one, but I don't think she makes it till the end. What about you, Nick? Does Danny make it?
No, I don't think so. I think she gets killed. I think she gets killed at the end when she goes mad. She gets Targaryen madness, and it actually does get to her.
That's
and
a
then
good one.
they have to put her down.
And maybe that's why John kills her with the sword to make Lightbringer, because she goes mad.
Yeah, until he has to put her down.
That's a good call. I like that. All right, and to end it, all right, real quick before we end it with them, Grey Worm and Missandei and Sam and Gilly. We don't need. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. I don't need to know. I just need to know if they live or die.
Oh, all right, okay. Sam, Gilly, live. Grey Worm die? Missandei live.
I actually agree with you 100% there. I think exactly what you just said happens.
That's actually what I was going to say.
So we'll end it with the bang. Big bad Aegon Targaryen, a.k.a. Jon Snow, Jon Stark, Jon Targaryen.
That's what we came for. Woo!
We gotta save the best for last and give the people a reason to listen.
That's true.
So what happens with John?
I got a couple theories of the guy, man. I think one, he kills what's her name because she goes mad, I think he goes mad too. I think he's Targaryen, so he has the chance to get the madness like anybody else, any other Targaryen. So he could go mad too.
All right, so John goes mad and Danny goes. You think they both go mad?
Oh, one of the two, because that's what the saying is. Every time a Targaryen is born, a coin is born. A coin is flipped. There's only two left. There's gotta be heads or tails, and one or two of them is 50-50. I think, in my opinion. I don't know which one, but 50-50, one of them is gonna go mad. I think it's a sad way for two of the best characters, your favorite characters, all of a sudden turn heel. It's like WWF. That's how you do it. Flip them. And then everybody's going to be sad because it's like a sad way to... I think the saddest way to do it is just to show signs of him going mad. I'll take that. I think that's just dope. I think it's a dope ending.
I think that's...
Signs of him going mad. But I don't know what the hell the signs are. Why wouldn't you agree? You know how sad that would be? Your favorite character, you're like, no, but you don't know how it ends. You don't know.
All right, interesting. So John could possibly go mad without us fully seeing it, but seeing the signs. That would be pretty artistically sad, cinematically sad. Casey, what do you think happens to John?
I think that John's going to sacrifice himself for his love.
Does he get brought back by Melisandre?
No, I don't think he does.
No, that's my theory. No, John goes mad.
I don't think... I just don't see how he dies, because Melisandre even said that he told her at Battle of Bastards, don't bring me back. But she said, it's not me, I have to try, it's the Lord of Light who does. So, and we know that there's more Red Priestesses.
And he's just a pawn for the Lord of Light to defeat the Night King. So I think if the Night King's defeated, there's no reason to bring him back. I think it's going to come down to either Daenerys or Jon, honestly, because they haven't really talked about anyone else or mentioned it that much about like the prophecies or anything. So I think it's just going to be between them. But then I think they're both going to have to end up being killed or dying at some point in the season.
So you think both of them go?
Yeah, I think both of them are going to.
I can see that, because that's,
I don't know how or why, but I just have a feeling, I guess.
No, it makes sense. You know what? Fuck it. John lives. John wins. John sits on the fucking throne. John's the one that sits on the throne.
I think John lives. I think I think Jon makes it through the Battle of Winterfell, but I
Do you
don't
think him and Daenerys are having a kid?
he's got to have a sad ending, but he's not going to die. I don't think they're going to kill him again. He's already died. Why would you kill a character that gets corny?
I agree. If they kill him again, the only way if they kill him though, they have to actually kill him.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to have a sad ending, but he's not going to die. So it's got to be something where he's just. It's got to be something. If you kill him again, you're doing the same thing you did 2 seasons. We saw him die. I don't like. There's not going to be anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They did that. They carried that for 3 episodes. He was dead. So what are you gonna do? Kill him at the end? That's how many times are you gonna kill a guy?
Well, we know Beric was killed 6 times.
I mean, granted, yeah, you could bring him back to life, whatever. But cool story.
Yeah,
bro.
we've seen it already. It's old news. That's yesterday's paper.
Yeah.
Kim, do you have a opinion on what happens with Jon?
No, yeah, he'll take it. He'll take it all.
I don't think he'll take it all. That's so predictable.
Yeah, but wouldn't the least that could change it up?
And I didn't think he wanted it all either. I didn't think he wanted to be on the Iron Throne. If he didn't want to be the Lord Commander, I thought he was going to want to be on the Iron Throne.
He didn't want to be Lord Commander. He didn't want to be Warden of the North, but he was.
Yeah, but he wants to be the Iron Throne.
No, he doesn't want it, but he's going to get it. Now he's going to be the reason they beat the Night King.
But if Gendry is still alive, he can't get it, right? Isn't Gendry the rightful heir to the throne?
No, the rightful heir to the throne is Jon Snow because the Mad King, Robert usurped the throne. Robert was a usurper.
Oh, that's right. That's what you were saying, and he's the real. His name is really Eric. Oh, that's
why
right.
Bran says he's really the heir to the Iron Throne. So I think Jon does get it. I think he makes it all the way. I think he sits on it and he survives. One last thing about Jon I want to ask though. Simple yes or no. Does Jon ride a dragon? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
So who's the third one?
You say no?
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Why don't you think he rides dragon?
It's not because we've seen Jon all along. It's been him and Ghost, and he loves Ghost. And Ghost, when he Ghost sits beside him, what is he gonna put Ghost to the side to ride a dragon? I just don't.
What do you think the direwolves are gonna do during this?
Well, Nymeria, I think it's a foregone conclusion, and we know Nymeria and her wolf pack are gonna be playing a pivotal part. Just because they wouldn't have showed them again with Arya if they were just gonna, that's it. Oh, we know Nymeria's alive. That's it. No, I think she's gonna save Arya at some point. Maybe when Arya's running around wherever she's running around, Nymeria comes and helps her.
I'm glad Nymeria's still alive. Yeah, they definitely, obviously did that.
And I think Nymeria and Ghost live, and I think Nymeria and Ghost continue the direwolf bloodline.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that's like a symbol of the Starks living on.
What about the theory, Casey? I'll ask you this. He was a warg, and when he died, he took the body of the crow or some shit, and it started attacking Jon Snow as well. You remember that? I think that's going to be significant too going forward with Bran, going back to Bran and shit like that. Because what does that mean? Can't they their body? Can't they jump into another body when they die? Isn't that what that was showing?
Well, yeah, they can leave themselves.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Yeah, that's an interesting theory, actually. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, because they never really fully explained it. The guy just jumped into that body, and that was it. And then Jon Snow looked at him flying away, but that was they never really went on about that. So I wonder if being a warg is going to be big. Speaking of Bran, maybe he does die, or something, you know what I mean, or something like that, because he's a warg. Apparently, you could jump into another body too.
I think he's going to ward the dragon the Night King's riding.
Oh, why not?
That's interesting.
One off the top of my head is I think Longclaw's handle is a weirwood handle. Weirwood trees are what Bran can see through. I think Bran or the Night King, one of the two, can use, because we've seen. I'll put it in the post of the episodes and the time in the episode. You can go back and look where the eyes of Longclaw on the sword are warped. They're white, and then they go to black. So is Longclaw actually? I think there's more to Longclaw. Longclaw is Jon's sword, by the way, for anybody out there that isn't sure. Longclaw, I think Longclaw plays a bigger part, and there's more to Longclaw. Longclaw can see maybe it has a connection to the direwolves or something like that. But Longclaw, there's more to Longclaw than what we see.
Oh,
that is true. I agree with that.
And remember when Longclaw in Beyond the Wall, everybody said no, his eyes don't open. His eyes clearly fucking open, and they even make the picture. It's clear, the eyes switch, and then it's blurry. Why'd they show that you could see the eyes switch and then it's blurry? It's the same thing with the chains that we see when they take the dragon out. It's an old ship port. They show the chains right across the screen. They do that little subtle shit when you least expect it. So I think there's more to Longclaw. Anybody have any more points or anything else to say?
Just that I can't wait for Game of Thrones to start back up.
What, you think that guy's coming back? What was his name?
Dario Naharis.
Yeah, badass for that. That she left to run the city or whatever. You think he's coming back?
I actually, that's a good point. I think he might be coming back with the second, with the Golden Company.
Oh yeah.
Is he gonna fight against Dany though?
I think he's gonna fight against her.
Yeah, I think so too. Because he's bitter that she left him there.
And she's found like he loves her, and she's found love
somewhere else
in a hopeless place
with the dead man.
But yeah, that's interesting. I forgot about him because he's a major character too, and he's a major actor. Anytime you see a major actor on a show, they're gonna come back at some point. You don't pay them what you pay them. You know, at this point, he's a major actor.
Guy from Deadpool.
Yeah, they pulled the Aunt Viv.
But no, he bounced. It was like a political reason or something. Why he didn't come back.
That's why they switched out Aunt Viv. Remember, she went from dark chocolate to milk chocolate.
That's right. Yeah, good call.
Out of nowhere.
That's true. There's one point I want to make, and it was all right. You remember Alistair Thorne, the guy who was in charge of killing Jon?
Yeah.
From the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Well, I think Game of Thrones is good at these little coincidences. But remember, Alistair Thorne was part of the Targaryen. He was behind the Targaryens when they fought Robert, and he loved Rhaegar. He was behind Rhaegar. Rhaegar's son is Jon Snow. So Alistair Thorne killed Rhaegar's son, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you gotta nitpick those tiny little details like that. Like
you gotta pay attention to that.
Yeah, these White Walkers. You know how you can kill if you kill one White Walker, you kill all their
the ones that they turned. Yeah.
The ones that they turn. So I wonder how that plays out. Because I guess the Dead King just has the most of them, right? Is like all of them. The ones that he turned.
So if you kill the Night King, you kill everybody. Because he turned all of them. Do you think we see our well, I'll call them our heroes, Brienne, Jon, Jaime, everybody who's got Valyrian. And do you think we see them take on the White Walker?
Yes.
We'll wrap it up unless anybody's got any more theories to end it.
Is the Night King, what's he after anyway? Is he after the throne? What the fuck is this guy going after?
We don't know.
What?
After what?
What's he after, Casey?
Bran, he said?
I think he's after Bran and or Jon Snow.
See, that's what I'm saying. We don't even have an answer for this dude. He's just out here causing
He
mayhem.
could be after Gilly's kid too, because remember, Craster's the one.
That's what I'm saying.
Who gives all those kids to the White Walkers?
Okay, yes. Let's look. All right, let's end this episode of whatever it's called by talking about the Night King. If they don't deep dive, we'll deep dive for a second because we got some Blaze and Chill. Woo! We got some little hints about who the Night King is.
Fuck, we still talked about.
Because I think we gotta go like they have to go a little bit into his story because we don't know what he's after yet. All we know about the people on the other side of the wall is that they're dead. The Night King is leading them.
Do you see that?
They raised the dead and shit. And that's it. What else? And that they're just trying to take over the world, right? Am I missing something? And then, like Casey said, they're going after Bran. We think, or and or Jon Snow. Why? We don't know, right?
No,
I don't know.
I mean, Jon Snow he would go after because maybe he Jon Snow's powerful enough to kill him. He could be going after Bran because Bran knows how to kill him and they have that connection, some kind of connection. Or he's after Sam and Gilly's kid because that's one of them that they didn't get to turn. But I think, okay, so in the trailer there's one part where the two dragons are heading north, like way beyond Winterfell. They're out beyond the wall. They're heading to the fucking where the Night King lived. Well, remember we saw it one time when they bring the baby back. When we see the baby get turned, he gets touched, and there's like an ice castle or some shit back there. There's like a little altar in the middle, and there's 12 figures of
Yeah, and they're all like around him and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that something pivotal is going to happen with that. I think maybe the dragons go there and burn that shit down because that's where that's the Night King's home. That's where he's from. Maybe if you destroy that,
where the baby was crying and all that, he had like his face was turning, he was like crying.
Yeah, they show him touch the baby.
It was like a ceremony.
His eyes turn blue.
Like a ceremony type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And we see the dragons heading north. If they head north there and they take that out, that could have something to do with the Night King's powers. The Land of Always Winter, it's called.
Yeah. But maybe but they have to go into, that's why I think they go into his character a little bit. Right? Because we have to know
they
why.
Have to give us something about him.
What the hell is he doing? Like, he can't just want to take over. And could he be does he want the Iron Throne? I mean, does it mean anything to him? I don't know.
I don't think it's the Iron Throne as much as I think he's just out to destroy anybody that opposes him. I don't know. It's tough because there's no, like, is he doing it because his love was killed? Is he doing it because his son was stolen? Why is he doing it? So I agree. I think they got to go a little bit more into him. He's the most interesting character that's never said a word in a television show before.
Yeah, everybody's afraid of him. He don't even say anything.
Just say a fucking word. I guess that's part of what makes him who he is.
He just do big ass. Once he hopped off his horse, picked up that dagger and threw it at picked up that spear and threw it at the dragon and killed that shit in one shot. That was a wrap. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's the real deal.
All right, we're gonna end it like this. Who sits
I want to keep talking Game of Thrones, man. We got time.
Who sits on the Iron Throne?
All right, yeah, that's a great. All right, who's your final call?
Mm-hmm. Who sits on the Iron Throne, Nick?
In the end, I believe the person sitting on the Iron Throne will be Cersei.
I could see it. It's a Game of Thrones move. Kim?
I'm gonna have to go with Jon Snow. Well, I guess versa. So one of the two.
Jon Snow or Gendry?
Yeah, those would be my two final.
I could see it. I think one of them is gonna sit on the Iron Throne. Casey, what do you think?
My guess is it's not going to be anyone that you think it's going to be, so that's why I got to go with Gendry.
Yeah, that's more why it would be. It would be too predictable.
How boring would that be, though?
If Gendry.
Casey, you like Gendry, Casey?
It would just be unexpected.
Yeah, I do.
And you're the only one who doesn't like him.
One of the main people. Can't be.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a Game of Thrones thing to do, but I just can't. What is it going to be? Fucking Pod's going to sit on the Iron Throne? Like, I don't even know if Gendry's going to make it out of Winterfell with this fight.
What about Bran?
No.
Because he's the three-eyed raven.
Bran can't even be. He was supposed to take over Winterfell and couldn't. Because he says I'm the three-eyed raven now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Jon Snow. I'm sticking with
it. Is Bran gonna live in the tree?
No. Nope. He doesn't need to anymore. And he can touch the weirwoods and see through the weirwoods. And
he can do all this shit. He can do all this shit, but he can't walk.
For real, how can he not fix himself by now? Go back in time.
He dreams about walking out every night, but he can't fucking stand
Yeah,
up.
for real though. Go back and change. Don't climb all the way up to the tower there, so you don't get pushed out.
Yeah, why doesn't he go back and just to that point? He's gonna do something with his time. All right, that's a theory. That's something I'm sticking to. That hold the door shit. That's gonna be a major plot part later on. He's got to do something with that. That was huge, and I don't know why it just wasn't talked about that much. I don't think, right? It was a huge plot thing.
I think that was just to show that he can see the past, and that was Hodor's storyline. That was his full. And remember, the only reason he could warg into Hodor is because he's simple.
But he wasn't simple as a kid until he turned into Hodor. I thought.
He wasn't.
Well, he was normal, and then all of a sudden he started having a seizure, and all he could say was hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. Then he started saying hold door. So that's what I mean. Like the present affected his past. So that's and that was a huge thing. And all of a sudden he went from being a normal kid to being Hodor because of what was happening in the moment. So I wonder if some, you know what I mean, if that could happen.
And it could. I honestly, at the time travel part, I don't really know much about it. I don't really understand the time travel part. That's why Bran as a character to me is just very confusing. I can't get a feel for what's going to happen with Bran.
Yeah, no, because you're right. He just got all kinds of powers and shit. And like he's a warg.
Apparently, he's everything. He can do it all.
He can do everything.
Everything but walk.
But he can't run. He can't. He can't dance.
All right, we're gonna end this. We'll be back. This is gonna be after. For each episode, there's only gonna be 6, but we'll do after each episode. Might be all of us, might be one of us, might be 2 of us, might be none of us.
I'm down to do them all right now.
Well, the episode's got to come out first, brother. But
and they're coming out of the documentary the week after.
Yes, I saw that. I'll be watching that too. Anything Game of Thrones has me hooked. Anything Game of Thrones.
Imagine, it's exciting. In 2 weeks, it's non-stop Game of Thrones talk for like 2 months, and then
not even 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Are they gonna have a break? They're gonna have a break between them.
6 straight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you to everybody who tuned in. I've been your host, Tommy Targaryen. We've had Nick Bolton, Kim, a.k.a. Khaleesi, Casey Stark. You guys have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
It's been real. Go Gendry.
Go Gendry. All right, thanks for joining us. Peace.